From its widespread translation to its influence on popular culture, The Three Musketeers has proven to conquer the imaginations of generations. What is it about this novel that makes it so infinitely adaptable? Alexandre Dumas collaborated with writer and historian Auguste Maquet to publish The Three Musketeers as a novel in 1844. As a mostly fictionalized account of France during the 1620s, this swashbuckling epic is often adapted for children in order to highlight the adventure aspects of the story. Around the world, The Three Musketeers has been refashioned into countless films and animations, but today we'll take a look at 4 popular English-language film adaptations. This is The Three Musketeers by the book.
Duels are forbidden. In the name of Prime Minister Richelieu, I arrest you.
Do your best in the King's name.
Having been adapted multiple times during and after the silent era of film, The Three Musketeers became one of MGM's most successful pictures. Starring Gene Kelly as a debonair and impetuous D'Artagnan, the film thoroughly utilized the prevalence of duels in the book to include highly choreographed sword-fighting scenes.
Hey! You, sir. We meet again, D'Artagnan.
Despite the flamboyant costumes, this version follows the basic plot of the original novel more closely than might be expected. D'Artagnan meets Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, they recover the diamond studs, and ultimately they bring Lady de Winter to justice. In line with the Hays Code, D'Artagnan's relationship with Constance is legitimized by introducing her as the single niece of his landlord. The two are briefly married before her tragic demise. The 1948 film vacillates between a drama and a comedy, with fast-paced action sequences that try to fit in as much of the story as possible. Although it misses out on some of the character development that makes the narrative more meaningful, the film still conveys the overarching theme of friendship.
This is not your affair, boy.
I may not have the tunic, but I have the heart of a musketeer.
This adaptation strives for authenticity combined with the more comic approach to The Three Musketeers. Initially intended to be a much longer film, the footage was split into 2, with The Four Musketeers released a year later. Both movies together present a faithful retelling that captures the spirit of the novel. In the 1973 film, the story begins much as the novel does, including minor details about D'Artagnan's parents. This version centers around the first third of the book, ending with the recovery of the Queen's diamonds. The Cardinal remains a calculating political figure. However, this film expands Rochefort's role by making him a more villainous character than he was in the books.
We shall find a cold lodging for Monsieur D'Artagnan and his friends as a precaution. In the Bastille.
Although there are many instances of physical comedy and slapstick humor, the film further includes scenes depicting everyday life for different social classes, including the servants. Realistic settings and situations showcase the personalities of the main characters, while giving an overall sense of general mayhem and camaraderie.
It's not your fight, you're not a musketeer.
I may not wear the tunic, but I believe I have the heart of a musketeer.
Warrior.
Poet.
You got a name, boy?
D'Artagnan.
This live-action Disney adaptation has little in common with its literary namesake, despite its 17th century setting and characters. Aside from D'Artagnan's introduction to the Musketeers and Athos' history with Milady, almost everything else about the plot is changed. Many of the novel's characters do not appear in the film at all, and the ones that do are broadly drawn and played. In this rendition, the Musketeers are first disbanded by Captain Rochefort, who was later killed by D'Artagnan to avenge the murder of his father. Both Rochefort and the Cardinal are stock evil characters with little depth to their personalities. Milady, on the other hand, is just a misunderstood villain who redeems herself by revealing the Cardinal's plan.
The Cardinal intends to assassinate the king on Friday at his birthday celebration.
There are also minor antagonists that are added to the story and periodically reappear throughout the film. In the end, despite the shift in the story's themes and modern twists that reflect its family-oriented nature, the film shows how the Musketeers support one another to stand for truth and honor.
Finish them off.
Let's even the odds.
This modernized version of the Three Musketeers takes artistic liberties to new heights with the addition of martial arts and airships, all in flashy 3D. The stilted dialogue is mixed with pop culture references and Americanisms amidst the few scenes that are true to the book.
Buttercup. Well, she gets a little sensitive. Afraid I must ask you to apologize.
18 years old at the time of filming, actor Logan Lerman was the same age as D'Artagnan at the start of the novel. For viewers who have seen the other versions, some of the plot points may seem familiar, aside from the non-canonical heist at Da Vinci's vault. The script also updates Constance's role in the story and eliminates the love triangle between D'Artagnan, Milady, and her maid. This tongue-in-cheek adaptation is focused on delivering an over-the-top cinematic spectacle rather than the plot development. The historical references often get lost in the string of action sequences and visual gags, so that the iconic tale of court intrigue becomes almost unrecognizable. Filmmakers taking the source material and completely transforming it is nothing new, but in most screen adaptations of The Three Musketeers, the fight sequences often overshadow the lesser-known aspects of the work. These modern adaptations tend to reform the morally dubious protagonists in a way that reflects cultural norms. Many of the characters, including the Musketeers, were based on real individuals. However, the story combines daring escapades and incredible plot twists to make these historical figures larger than life. It is clear that the inherent adaptability of The Three Musketeers comes down to the novel's balance of action, comedy, romance, and most importantly, friendship. Let us know how many adaptations of The Three Musketeers you've seen. Thanks for watching.